in our introduction, did we ever even say who we are? Are there people who? I mean, everyone knows Dr. Cybela.
Yeah, Dr.
The man,
Cybela.
the myth, the legend.
Legend?
Yeah. Well, I mean, there's like the legend of Sasquatch. People. I mean,
all right.
he's big and smelly and.
My apologies.
Yeah. But
maybe I'll.
Does everyone know who you are?
Well, I'm Ben Wagner. I'm one of the first-year tech students, and I had the brilliant idea after listening to me and Dr. Cy bounce off each other for 2 hours, that we could do a podcast about something educational in the vet tech program.
And I said in my usual brilliant way, "What's a podcast?"
You did.
No, I know what a podcast is. I don't know that I've ever listened to one.
Given he's never actually listened to one, he did surprisingly well on our first episode of Jingle Jangle, which will begin shortly. Thank you for listening, and I hope you enjoy what I hesitate to call entertainment.
Well, this will be the first installment of Jingle Jangle, which is, I think, what we've decided to call this, and because Amelia had a Deus Ex Machina.
And as whatever Amelia says goes.
I don't know that should be the case. That would lead to a lot of infringement.
Yeah, if not complaints to HR.
Oh, complaints to HR, the dean, the whole board.
Yep, the whole spiel.
But I know a lot of people currently in the program are having trouble with drugs, which is what we wanted to talk about today. There was a lot of confusion, at least from the first years in pre-surge, about some of the drugs Dr. Jenstead was asking us to understand. And I also had those same problems. Is there something you'd like to go over in what we should really be trying to understand about drugs?
Oh, yeah, all of it. You should read Plum cover to cover.
Well, that seems like it'd take a while. Are you sure?
It might. How about your pharmacology book cover to cover first?
That would help.
That would help. I think it's a little less. I'm being very facetious. I remember fourth year of vet school, and we were preparing for our version of board examinations, the NBE and the clinical competency test, so that's like your VT&E. And there was a student who asked one of our professors how best to study for it, and his legitimate, not being sarcastic answer was to read the Merck manual cover to cover.
Wow.
And if you've ever seen the Merck, well, nowadays it's online, but the Merck manual, if you imagine a hotel Bible,
oh dear,
about that size, that thickness, the pages about that thin, and the print, the type about that small, and that was his serious answer. Not realistic.
No.
I spent my weekend before the boards learning how to tie a bow tie. Like I say, do something relaxing before. But to get to your question,
you're fine. That's the point of the.
That is,
thing.
Jingle Jangle.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm not entirely sure how to answer because for first years, you're still this is week 4 of pharmacology right now.
Yeah.
And we just finished chapter 3. We still have. We already covered 6 because we took that out of order. So we still have chapters 4 and 5 yet to do before we even get to any drugs. That's chapter 7.
Yeah, we just did routes of administration, right?
Yep. And then 4 is pharmacokinetics, pharmacodynamics.
How things work in the body and how the body works on drugs to make them work.
Absolutely. And then chapter 5.
You have it in front of you.
I do have it in front of me, yeah, and my glasses on so that I can read it.
That's important.
It is. What was I tried to quote you today on literacy.
Literacy, a larger problem than you might think.
Yes, because we had a student who asked me a question, and then she paused and said, "Never mind."
I just had to read.
Sometimes I have trouble reading, and I said, as Ben said yesterday.
Everybody has trouble reading. I've had several problems on several tests where I go, "Wait a minute, I just need to actually read the frickin' question and I will answer it correctly."
Reading you're probably too young, most of you, but when I was young there were commercials on TV. Reading is fundamental. There was like a whole riff.
We saw those.
That was a thing?
I mean, they had reading Between the Lions reruns.
Oh yeah.
It was everywhere.
And of course Reading Rainbow.
Yes.
With the great LeVar Burton.
Yeah, he went on to do so much like reading.
Really?
Yeah, he did a lot of charity work for.
Oh, I thought you were talking about like his acting work, because I think his career pretty much died out after that, didn't it?
It sort of did, but they also, like, Reading Rainbow started up again.
Are you not realizing I'm totally pulling your leg? Are you not and I'm not a
No, I know he was in Next Generation.
Yeah, and I'm not a Next Generation fan.
Oh, I love Next Generation.
Really? No.
I could listen to Sir Patrick Stewart all day long.
I'll give you that, but give me Sir Patrick doing Shakespeare.
Have you seen him and Ian McKellen in that sitcom?
No, but
There's a British comedy sitcom with Ian McKellen
Okay.
and Sir Patrick Stewart.
All right, I need to grab my pen and my paper, which I brought along.
Oh yeah,
and
there's a reason I told you to bring reference.
okay. Well, for those of you who are interested about the drugs, I forgot what I was looking up, so we'll come back to that. But right now, I have to get the series.
Oh, I don't remember the name.
You don't remember the name?
No.
Okay, so I just need to Google
Ian McKellen
series with the two. I've seen clips from the National Theatre Company, I think, in England. Of them in plays together.
Shakespearean trained actors are always better.
Yeah. But anyway, what was I looking up in the first place?
We were going to chapter 5 to figure out what it was.
Oh yeah, just to find out. It was nothing even like intense. It was just I never know how far to turn from the.
Oh no, you're fine.
The microphone here, because you said it was very directional. Chapter 5 is there it is. Oh yeah, that's the really tough one to get through.
Oh yeah.
Because it has to do with like purchasing drugs and inventory management.
So like DEA interactions.
Yeah, but also talking about like turnover rate and.
This sounds like economics.
It is.
Oh
and
joy!
I know, not my favorite.
If I joined the vet tech program, I don't want to talk about money.
Well, there used to be a journal. It's not published anymore, but there used to be a journal called Veterinary Economics.
Interesting.
And so it was all about the economics of, because veterinarians, a lot of them, maybe less so nowadays because we're seeing increased corporatization.
Yeah.
But your traditional
you're a business
practice.
owner.
Yeah, you're a small business owner. So Vet Econ was out there to help those vets.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's got to be like. Okay. So my brain, when I think econ, I watch too much Law and Order. I've seen Law and Order.
Is that the duh?
Yeah.
Okay.
Cover to cover, the original Law and Order, I have seen probably 4 times.
Okay.
Which is too much time.
How many seasons?
23.
That's a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And about an hour a piece. Yeah, it's too much.
Okay.
But when I think econ, I think fraud. And my brain just skipped to like the sheer amount of legal problems that could arise from veterinary industry, like lawyers. There's got to be some kind of like class action suit against lab rats or lab beagles, because
against the beagles themselves?
No.
What did the beagles do?
No, not the beagles. Against the sellers of the beagles for like genetic deformity.
Oh.
Or like, see, like that kind of like sheer systemic problem that should have been caught by technicians or vets at the top end. There's got to be some kind of. Is that something you can do?
I don't know.
Questions to answer next time.
Questions to answer next time, maybe. I do know. I mean, you've hit upon something that I've seen in my career as a shelter veterinarian.
Sure.
Many shelters don't even have a veterinarian on staff full time because they just don't have the resources for that.
Yeah, it's not in the budget.
Not in the budget. So sometimes it's just a vet. Sometimes they contract with vet clinics for services and they bring the animals to the clinic. Sometimes they contract with a vet to 1 day a week or something. The vet comes in. I was lucky enough to work at a couple shelters. I was at the one in Milwaukee where there were. Well, now I think they have at least 5 veterinarians and
That's
probably
nice.
almost double that amount in techs. I think.
When were you there?
I was there. My first stint was from 2001 to the end of 2005, so about 5 years.
Like Milwaukee County Humane Society?
Yep.
I may have acquired a creature you
Really?
examined.
Yep. Right there on Wisconsin Avenue,
Yep.
4500 West Wisconsin Avenue.
Yeah.
Yes. You may if it was in those 5 years.
Probably.
Yeah, you were probably just a wee little thing.
Yeah.
You do the Scottish
Wee.
accent.
I was wee.
I'm not good. I'm not so good at the Scottish.
That's all right. It'll get better with time.
Okay. Well, you'll have to give me some. I'll have to watch a little bit more of Mrs. Doubtfire.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
They're doing a production of Mrs. Doubtfire where I went to go see a concert over the previous weekend.
Like they did a musical version of it?
Yeah,
or?
there's a musical Mrs. Doubtfire.
I'm not surprised.
I don't know that I enjoyed as much without Robin Williams.
True. I mean,
some people.
Go
ahead.
No. All props to Will Smith but
Yeah.
I mean, Aladdin, the genie.
Robin Williams is
Robin
just a better
Williams
genie.
is the genie. Was the genie. Will always be the genie.
Exactly.
And again, no offense meant to Will Smith. I like him in other things, but I mean, yeah, Robin Williams.
He did okay for trying to follow up the class act that is Robin Williams.
I mean, we can talk all day about how what's the point of those live action remakes of those animated
The real
movies.
answer is money.
Well, yes, yes, cash grab by Disney.
I discovered some people in my class don't know Fern Gully.
Really?
Yeah, there's a hamster named Batty,
Yeah.
like after the bat from Fern.
Okay.
Nobody knows who Fern
But
Gully
is that you're and forgive me if I'm like calling you
no,
out
you're good.
here or doxing you or whatever it's called,
No.
but because you're a little older than a
Yes.
lot of the other, a little older.
Yes.
I mean,
I'm near the top end.
we have some non-traditional students who are not in their 20s, right?
The generic stereotypical college age.
Yeah. So anyway, back to Fern Gully.
And
Is
besides,
that
I could just edit it out.
good point? Good. Do I trust you to edit it out though?
I'll put it on the list, but it's getting edited out.
Oh, okay. There's the list. Yeah. So, does everyone know what the list is?
I'm sure we could announce it.
Yeah.
I keep a list from my first semester of all the completely out of context things Dr. Sai has said.
And you do this with all your professors, right? Or all your instructors?
Yes, of course, Dr. Sai.
I thought you
It's
said.
not just you.
Well, okay. Maybe I'm the only vet tech instructor, but you've done this before with other instructors,
yes,
right?
Absolutely.
Okay, so, all right.
I've kept lists of insane things my
Okay.
previous teachers have said in my past educational career, but
Where do I stand in like the outrageousness? Like, are there still people who have said things that are way more out of pocket than what I've said?
Are you looking for an average or?
Yeah, on average.
Yeah.
Okay.
There's a couple that are worse, but I think you're second for sure.
Oof, I'm not sure that's a dubious honor.
It is a dubious honor, but it is an honor nonetheless.
I guess I'll take that. Yeah. So Fern Gully.
Yeah, Fern Gully.
Jingle Jangle.
There's going to be a sound effect.
Okay, good. So I don't have to jingle my keys.
No, I'll make one.
So listeners who may not have been in our study sessions with A&P
we should explain that.
now know the reason for the title, right?
Yeah.
Redirecting.
Yeah, there's a very common modern thing of jingling keys to get someone to pay attention, and surprising absolutely exactly no one, it worked in the study sessions for Dr. Sai, Kayla, and I.
I mean, worked.
Was mildly effective.
Yeah, I mean, if we talk
had
about
no adverse reactions.
There we go. Okay, yeah. And maybe hey, that's a topic for a future podcast. Is
behaviorals.
Animal behavior or okay.
Well, because that's what the jingling keys stems from.
Well, and that's so. This is two topics. Then we can talk animal
Perfect.
behavior. We can even talk about animal behavior modifying drugs,
Sure.
which is Farm 2, not Farm 1. But we could also talk about neurodivergence.
Absolutely.
And the veterinary profession.
Is that a thing in animals? Well, obviously it's a thing in people.
Yeah. I mean, you'll hear people say that, animals have something similar. I don't know if we know enough right now about the inner workings of the animal
We can't
mind.
exactly talk to them except for that parrot.
Right. Yeah. And even then, that's not, I mean...
Have you seen Apollo?
I've not seen Apollo. I remember, who was the gray, the famous...
Marcy?
No.
Marnie?
Alfie? There was a famous
I know who
African
you're talking
gray. Can't remember his name.
There's a new one
Okay.
who is extremely popular, at least in my circle, who is an African gray who's named Apollo.
Okay.
And they've been teaching him alone because the previous African gray had, for lack of a better term, a roommate, and he would correct the roommate, and so the roommate learned less, and the older gray learned also less because he was focused on correcting his roommate.
Interesting. So that's why I'm getting dumber as I get older, because I have to correct students all the time.
I don't know.
So the more I correct students, the dumber I'm getting.
I don't.
That explains a lot.
I don't think that's
another
how that-
penny drops into the slot.
Dr. Sai, I don't think that's how that works.
I don't know. But
the African gray that's current.
I don't even know how we got this far. We were talking about Fern Gully.
Yeah.
But
the Apollo, the African gray, the current one, he's by himself with two, I believe, a form of parakeet.
Okay.
But he's gotten to the point where he can pick things off of trays.
Mm-hmm.
Like if you hand
If
him
you name it, you mean so give me the spoon or the fork.
I would like they've been teaching him words slowly. He started out with what materials are made of. So he had metal, wood, glass, paper.
Mm-hmm.
Then they moved on to objects, and then they combined objects and materials. So they would ask for the glass bowl or the paper box, and he's gotten really good. To the point where he started asking, like he'll appear on their shoulder and ask, I want to earn a snack.
Interesting.
So he starts training himself because they give him a pistachio if he does it right.
All right. Pistachios are pretty good.
Yeah.
They're probably among my favorite nuts.
I mean, they're better than almonds.
Definitely better than almonds.
Almonds kill the planet.
That's true. Right? It's the bee. It's mainly because of the bees, right?
No, it's because of the water.
It's not the bees?
No.
I thought it was the bees, like the pesticides they used for growing almonds.
That's just all
affected the bee
pesticides.
populations, and of course that's like pollination, and pollination gives us our plant life,
the
and our
entire
plant life. Yeah, I mean
ecosystem.
it's right. Yeah.
But
So
almonds are like a gallon of water an almond.
okay, I knew almonds were bad.
Almonds
Yeah.
are not good for the planet.
So in terms of milk, oat milk.
Yeah, oat milk.
Oat milk. Okay, that's good. That's probably my favorite non-dairy milk is oat milk.
Well, I'll have to get a list of favorites now. 'Cause
So-
we're getting this is two in, like inside of 5 minutes.
What was the other one?
Pistachios.
Oh, I wouldn't say. Oh, okay, I did say they're my favorite nut. Yeah, I mean it's not my favorite snack.
What's the
But
best snack?
Favorite snack? I mean it depends on the day. I'm more of a crunchy, salty person than a
Okay.
sweet person.
Okay.
But I'll take anything lemon anytime.
Well, yeah.
So, yeah.
Lemons are
So if I want something crunchy, salty, just give me a good soft pretzel.
good. Soft
yeah.
pretzel or like the Snyder's?
Well, I would rather have a nice hot soft pretzel.
I
But
agree.
if I can't have that, then a Snyder's crunchy.
Bavarian or like Auntie Anne's? Or
Bavarian.
tasty. Really?
Yeah.
With the crispy outside?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I can't stand those.
No?
No. I'd rather have.
Auntie Anne's are too.
Yeah, I'd rather have a
Um,
dough.
Yeah. I like the. Yeah.
Yeah.
Give me a Bavarian. I mean, I am. Well, aren't you? Do you have good German stock in you?
Yeah.
I mean, Wagner.
I'm sure if you've ever seen me, I look Hispanic, but I'm like 3/4 of Northern Europe. There is
Okay.
the rest of me.
Yeah. I mean,
Is there
no
any-
shame in being a mutt,
All right.
a mixed breed.
Shelter vet coming through,
I'd say like domestic short hair or long hair, but I don't know if I've ever actually seen your hair because you're
No.
always wearing that hat.
and you will
Or
never.
a hat.
You will never.
I will never see your hair.
Nope.
Never.
Unless you walk in on me in surgery in scrubs, you will never see my hair.
Well, I might walk in surgery.
Don't do that.
Are you gonna come to the graduation ceremony when this is all over?
Probably. yeah.
Okay, so you have your graduation cap on, right?
Yep.
What happens when they play the national anthem
I
and
ain't
they
gonna
ask us
toss
to
my
remove
hat.
our caps?
Nope.
Well, you don't have to toss it, but they, as a sign of respect, they ask you to take. Well, okay, we could talk about like.
Yeah, there's a list here that we're supposed to avoid.
Oh, okay, all right. Moving on. Favorite snack? Yeah, pretzel. If it's something salty, sweet. Well, then yeah, give me
Lemons.
lemon poppy seed muffin, lemon bars, lemon cookies. I have lemon drops on my desk. Anyone want to stop by for a lemon drop? They're
I like
welcome to
those.
stop by and
Those are good.
get a lemon drop. So, but back to Apollo and his pistachios. So he
Yes.
would fly to their shoulder.
He would ask
And
to
ask to
he,
be-
He would say, "I want to earn a snack,"
Okay.
and they ask him things. He had a lot of trouble with compound diphthongs. He had a lot of problems with diphthongs.
Okay.
For those who don't know, diphthongs are things like combination letters, like ch being ch or th being th. But he had a lot of problems with those, and so they wanted to teach him the color orange, and that has a pseudo diphthong in it in the nge, so you'd get nj. But they figured out they could teach him wrench, and he just had to add o on the beginning, so you get o wrench.
O-wrench.
Exactly.
Isn't that a type of wrench? An O-wrench?
Yes, it is.
It is.
It's
Okay.
usually used for oil filters.
Well, what if he's training on
To be a mechanic?
like automobile repair?
Oh, good lord! I
and
don't know
then
that I want to parrot
we
auto
don't,
mechanic.
We don't know if he's asking for an O-wrench or does he need a break for a snack of an orange?
Well, at that point, he'd never seen a real orange. They
Oh,
didn't have any
okay.
oranges in the house. But they taught him wrench, and it worked. He got there. It became rin, and then he would do ch separately, and then he got it solid as one
Interesting.
word, and then he added o on the beginning, and he got orange. They've discovered his favorite color's purple.
Okay.
Does
he just like things that don't have rhymes because there's no rhyme for orange and there's no rhyme for purple unless of course you include nurple.
which is of course in the very famous song.
I'm just thinking about purple nurples that the bullies would.
I was talking about the blue-eyed, green-haired, flying purple people eater.
There's nurple appears in that. It's the one-eyed, one-horned, flying purple people eater.
Oh, you're right. No,
Yeah.
You're right. How do we relate this to drugs? Because we got to wrap it up at some point.
Are we even going to get to drugs this time, or is
Well,
this
we
just
got
an
a little
introduction
bit-
to what the podcast is going to be?
Well, it's both.
Yeah. So we were talking
Are there any
about
purple drugs.
are there any purple drugs? Wasn't Nexium a purple capsule? Brand name Nexium.
I'm sure we can find out.
we got here. I don't even know how we got here because we were talking about topics, behavioral modification, medications, neurodivergence. Oh yeah,
Yeah.
because the whole point of this podcast is we can't keep our brains on track, right?
Well, it's very true.
So we could talk about neurodivergence in veterinary medicine. There is actually a high proportion of neurodivergent people in the field.
I would imagine we talk better to animals.
That's a big part of it is we relate better to animals than we do to people.
Interesting.
So yeah. So Fern Gully.
Yeah.
I think I was going to say you said you were surprised that a lot of your classmates didn't know, but I feel like Fern Gully is more. So you were what would you consider your prime Fern Gully years? Like was that like the 90s?
When did Fern Gully come out?
Because I feel like maybe our Zoomers are well. Are you still a Zoomer?
No.
No.
I think I am.
On the cusp, maybe.
I think I'm a Zoomer by like a year because I was
Okay.
born in '99.
Oh, okay.
And
So
the cutoff for whatever the one before Zoomers is 98.
that's the millennials.
Yeah. I relate better to millennials. I figured
Okay.
out.
Well, that makes sense because to me, Fern Gully is a millennial movie.
Well,
I'm a Gen Xer.
It released in
So-
'92, so that makes sense.
Okay. Yeah. So anyway, your original question was drugs.
Yeah.
And I don't. What was the question about drugs?
Well, we jumped off of drugs to the fact that one of our hamsters is named Batty.
Batty,
But
yes.
We
Yep,
jumped off of
okay.
hamsters because we were talking about the drugs we should know for our first year studies.
Aha.
Things like dexmedetomidine, things
Yep.
like midazolam, ketamine, atipamezole.
Yep.
Just trying to make sense of a lot of the names because you can't really wade into drugs. You have to jump into the deep end with all of the word naming. There's no easy way to transfer the jargon.
Not consistently.
No, there's
not
no
consistently.
transferable skill set
Yeah.
from real life to talk about drugs in
Right.
a way that makes sense.
Right. Yeah. So
Is there a good way to? Because I know a lot of my trouble. I'm a word person.
Sure.
Everybody who's
Well,
ever talked to me knows I'm a word person.
and I think anybody who's heard us talk to one another,
We're just
anyone who's
word
taken
people.
one of my classes know that I'm a word person
Yeah.
too as well. Yeah. I
Uh,
put a weird accent. I said a word person instead of a word person.
You just removed the D. It's okay.
Oh, okay. I'm a word person.
Yeah. See.
Does that mean is that like a werewolf?
I would think
word
it-
person? Am I actually an animal, but I can turn into a
A
person?
This is like that weird PBS show where everything was made out of words. Have you seen that show?
No. What? I feel like I would like this show.
No, you wouldn't.
No.
Potential. It's a children's show.
Okay. And
That's fair. Bluey's good.
Yeah.
It's all the creatures and the planet and like everything is some distortion in font of the word that it is. Like the bear
Oh,
is a
okay.
bear, but it's written as bear.
So is that called a pictograph or what's the? There's got to be a term for that.
Oh,
Really, you're gonna let me down on this word, guy?
I have no
If
idea.
I don't know the word for an image that is made out of the word that represents that image, if I don't know that, you ought to know that.
Why?
Because usually, if I don't know some kind of word origin thing, you do.
That's why we go to the Encyclopedia Universalis that is in our pocket called a phone.
Okay. Is that the specific spinus?
Spinus?
You're gonna edit that out, right?
Oh, of course.
Species, genus and species is what I was trying to say. What was that?
Encyclopedia
Universalis.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, that's just what makes it. This leads me to a question, and then we should get back on drugs.
People are listening now and wondering if we're already on drugs.
I mean, I've talked to a lot of people, and I've asked, would you be interested in listening to effectively me and Dr. Sai yap for an hour?
Mhm.
And they were like, that sounds incredibly engaging to do studying to.
De gustibus non est disputandum.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't-
No
we
accounting
don't-
for taste.
We don't yuck your yum.
Yes.
That's the modern parlance.
That is the modern parlance. Yeah. Not going to kink
Parlance.
shame. I'm
Good
just going to
Lord.
kink ask why.
Parlance.
Parlance.
No, it's just nobody ever would use the word parlance. I used the word cognizance the other day. Who uses cognizance?
Clearly you do.
Yeah, us.
Yeah.
That's
us. Word nerds.
What was I talking about?
Well, somehow we were talking about the pictures that were represented by the
Pictographs,
words
yeah.
and then I said, why don't you know that? Because you know the words that I don't.
Oh,
And-
Encyclopedia Universalis.
Oh, yeah.
So, the latter part of AU, Aurus Sinister, Aurus Dextrus, is the U in AU for like denoting ear.
No,
Orus?
it's the A part that is ear.
Yes,
Orus.
but the S,
The S and the D are left and
S-
right,
S is
sinister and
sin-
dexter.
is U universalis?
Um,
Universalis?
I'm not sure of the exact word, but it's that same root, meaning both.
Yeah, okay.
United or
All?
yeah, all.
Perfect.
Yeah.
Okay, I was just curious.
Yeah, I'm not sure the exact Latin word, but it is for that
I've
family of words.
I was always curious why it was AU,
Yep.
and it was like, that makes more
Well,
sense
you're
now.
right. You're right.
Drugs.
Drugs.
We were talking about the drugs we should know for first year.
Yeah.
Is there a good way to introduce someone who's not familiar with picking apart words and etymology like we like to do, to help learn word origin, or like help group drugs? Because you said there's a couple where you can be like,
I mean, there are some categories. This in Farm 1 we'll do cardiovascular drugs, and there's several classes in there, like the LOL drugs. They all end in LOL.
yeah,
Laughing out loud. So propranolol, atenolol, metonolol, and those are beta blockers. But then you have a drug called sotalol, which ends in LOL, and it's a calcium channel blocker. So there's always exceptions to the rule. The ACE inhibitors, most of them end in pril, enalapril, benazepril, lisinopril. So there are some that way, but it's not consistent.
it doesn't sound consistent.
No, and it's not like A and P was, where you could see that, the acetab, everyone's favorite, the acetab. Well, maybe that's not, because you have to think about vinegar
acetabulum-
bowl, but I mean tabulum, you can get table from that, and if you knew vinegar was acetic acid, and again, who besides us would know that?
I know a lot of people related canter to trochanter.
Yeah, right, and that, I don't know if that's actually where that word came from. I'd have to actually look that one up. Probably not. But patella, little plate.
Yeah.
And in humans anyway.
The navicular bone.
Navicular bone looks like a boat, right? Navy, navigate.
Yeah.
So pharmacology is not like that. I don't think the drugs have a consistent theme of etymology running through them.
Yeah, they appear to be a lot of based on the chemical formula, which is not something that a lot of texts speak.
A lot of veterinarians do. I mean, we can talk about generic drugs like, say, lisinopril, but if you actually look at the chemical name of that drug, it's this big long, I don't know, I'm just making this up, something like desoxycorticopival, and then there's numbers thrown in there, 1-2, OP.
I looked at the chemical formula for chlorhexidine.
Yeah, there you go.
Ugh.
Yeah.
It's terrifying.
Yeah. So we don't, I mean, unless you're a chemist, you're not using those names.
It's close.
Is it?
Trochanter comes from runner.
Runner, okay. Well, there you go.
But yeah, is there a good kind of, do you have any study recommendations for how to help remember or at least relate like indications, contraindications for drugs and their names? Because I know I relate a lot of things to, like, butorphanol is an opiate. My brain thinks opiate, it thinks morphine.
Well, yes, because it has that orph in it, and a lot of your drugs do. Morphine, hydromorphone, oxymorphone, butorphanol, buprenorphine, but then you've got tramadol, which is an atypical opioid, and maybe that's your way to remember it.
Sure.
Because it doesn't follow the...
You said tramadol, right?
Tramadol. Tramadol.
That thinks like tremor in my head. So it shakes up the established pattern. I
guess you could, yeah. I mean, it's an analgesic. It's one that we thought maybe, 15 years ago was maybe a great new thing to add into NSAIDs for pain control.
Mm-hmm.
But we found out over time that it's probably not as effective in veterinary species as we had hoped it was.
Interesting.
Just because to exert its effect, it has to be metabolized to a certain metabolite, and human bodies do that, but veterinary species don't. So
there's a lot of strange differences that I've been realizing, especially in my time in LAS.
Welcome to the world of veterinary medicine. This is why we're all superior to MDs and RNs and all the rest of that. They just have one species they've got to worry about.
Yeah.
So now you have to worry about butorphanol, but you have to worry about butorphanol and what that means for a horse and what it means for a hamster versus a cat. Yeah. There was some discussion, I think, in your section the other day about butorphanol and whether or not it was a good analgesic.
Yeah.
It depends.
It depends on the species.
Yeah, because as the first year students will find out, and the second years hopefully remember, opioids work on opioid receptors, and those are classified in veterinary species as either mu or kappa. There's a delta, but that doesn't seem to play a big role in veterinary species. And your mu those are the receptors that get, when those are activated, you get really good analgesia, but also really powerful respiratory depression.
I mean, that makes sense.
And that's why people die of overdose from like fentanyl and that sort of thing, is they stop breathing. And then the kappas are mild analgesia, mild respiratory depression, but more sort of just general calming. And that's the kappa. And butorphanol is a kappa agonist, so it gives you mild analgesia and mild respiratory suppression, but pretty good calming effect. But it's a mu antagonist, so it will actually block. It can be used to reverse things like morphine and so forth. But that's not in all species. So butorphanol, butorphanol is not really a good analgesic for dogs or cats or cattle or swine, ruminants in general, but birds and horses. They in those species, kappa seems to produce much better analgesia. So butorphanol would be a good analgesic for a horse, but a poor analgesic for, say, a dog or a cat.
Interesting. Yeah. Why do we use it in our sedation cocktails then?
More for its sedative effect.
Okay.
Yeah, less for its pain than for its sedative effect.
Interesting.
And actually, the word sedative implies both central nervous system depression as well as some pain relief. So, I mean, there is pain relief there, but the reason we tend to use butorphanol as part of our pre-meds, or when you sedate for ACM to draw blood, that combination of a tranquilizer or a sedative, in your case it's a sedative, dexmedetomidine, right, dexdomitor.
Yep,
that combination of an opioid and a sedative is called a neuroleptalgic, which is a big fancy word, but the VTNE loves it.
I imagine.
So I'm not going to spell it because I'm bad at spelling things in my head. I have to write them out. I know. N-E-U.
No, don't worry
okay,
about it.
all right. You guys can look that up. Or maybe we can provide a transcript or something.
Sure.
But that's multimodal analgesia or multimodal anesthesia or multimodal sedation. That combination, they kind of potentiate each other. So what you're using... Potentiate. They boost one another's effect.
Got it.
Yeah.
Potency.
Potency, yeah. And speaking of pharmacology, when we get to antimicrobials, that'll be Pharm 2 for you guys, I think, because I've switched things around a little bit. But we talk about potentiated penicillins. There are a number of penicillins that a lot of bacteria have developed resistance to.
Yeah, because we use them too much.
Yeah, and they've developed an enzyme that can basically chew up the antibiotic and inactivate it.
Interesting.
So we can add drugs like clavulanic acid to amoxicillin, and the clavulanic acid inhibits that bacterial enzyme and prevents the bacteria from being resistant to it.
I don't like drug bacteria arms race. That sounds terrifying.
I mean, we're in it. There's no.
Yeah, I can still dislike it.
We are locked in combat with. Eventually, I have long said that it's not going to be nuclear war or anything like that brings the human race down. It's going to be something infectious. It's going to be a bacterium. It's going to be a virus. Something.
This brings to mind a question. How well do you know your veterinary industry history, I suppose?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't realize that this was going to be a quiz show.
No, it's not.
Am I playing for any kind of money? Who wants to be a millionaire? You got $1 million somewhere back there?
I could give you a muffin. This is a lemon poppy muffin. I'll go get one.
The one like the one I got yesterday? Yeah. That was really good muffin, but I realized I had poppy seeds stuck in my teeth for the rest of the day.
I mean, you're gonna fail a drug test then.
I mean, that's true.
So, when you said you were talking about how it's not gonna be nuclear war, it's gonna be some kind of disease that ends the human race. I was reminded of a lot of the New World diseases that didn't transfer back to the Old World when we came to. When Christopher Columbus, European explorers, came to America, we gave smallpox, we gave a lot of diseases that the New World ecosystem had never seen. But a lot of the New World diseases were stuff that the Old World had seen. Things like dysentery, things like bubonic plague.
Yeah.
Is there something that transferred from the Old World to the New World that animals should be aware of? Or is there a veterinary history anecdote that you know about? If you don't, that's okay. It can be questions for another time.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be hard pressed to come up with something off the top of my head, but I'm sure the answer to it in general is yes. I mean, it's a very, very small world now, globalization, right? You know, at
Yeah.
one point in time, to go from one continent to another, you know, you
You'd
had
wait
to,
4 months.
yeah, and you know, you'd have to brave the vicissitudes of,
Oh, dear.
yeah. You'd have to brave the whims of the ocean and the wind and all that. It was very dangerous, but you know, first came shipping, and then you know,
The Wright
planes,
brothers.
and yeah, I mean, we lots of invasive species, and those can be macro species, right? I mean, the domestic cat
True.
is an invasive species.
It's
in the
incredibly
Americas.
invasive.
Yeah.
It's
So
everywhere.
yeah.
You can't walk 2 feet without seeing a cat.
Right. I know. I've got 4 of them infesting my home at home, and I just it's sometimes when it's dinner time, it's like, holy cow, we got to call the exterminator or something. We have an infestation here.
I know in one of my agriculture classes we learned about zebra mollusks.
Yeah.
Zebra mollusks are a just severe problem in Wisconsin
Yeah.
lakes.
Lake Michigan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you leave Lake Michigan, they will fine you a lot of money if you don't check your boat for zebra mollusks, because they are so incredibly effectively invasive. You can deposit one of them or 2 of them in another lake, and you're screwed.
Yeah. Well,
done.
because snails. Okay. Don't know. They didn't
don't
cover
know.
snails in vet school.
Neither did.
But I know at least some snails are hermaphroditic.
Yeah.
So
you
they
don't-
can.
You only need one.
Yeah, to reproduce.
2.
So.
It just doesn't matter which ones.
Yeah. Right.
Um,
Back to the drugs.
yeah.
For right now, until I think about this a little bit more, as far as tackling these things, for me anyway, and your mileage may vary, everyone's brain is different, but the technique of chunking, I think, really works well.
Oh,
So
like-
taking them, don't take a pile of flashcards of all the drugs you've learned, all the sedatives, all the tranquilizers, all the antimicrobials. Pick a class. I'm going to talk about opioids today, and do your opioids, and then another time do your alpha agonists or whatever. Shout out to our friend Kayla Berg. She liked those flow charts that we used to make.
Really work.
You probably have seen on I almost said Blackboard, Brightspace. I have posted some, probably not for you guys yet because you haven't gotten to drugs, but I will for you. And for the second years, I have broken down the drug categories into, you know, the different sort of classes. Yeah. And then
sounds
you can
primal.
add to them as a student, then you can add in things like common side effects
Oh,
or
nice.
those sorts of things. But to me that works is chunking them like that.
What's that PowerPoint adjacent where you got like it's effectively like a PowerPoint but a flow chart on a big board? Do you know what I'm talking about?
It's not a flow chart. It's not an organizational chart.
No, it's like the PowerPoint akin thing.
Oh.
You see?
Oh, is that the Prezi?
Yes,
The thing
Prezi.
where you can like the things. I
And
get
it
motion
zooms.
sickness with Prezi.
So do I.
Okay.
And
You can take an antihistamine for that.
True.
Yeah, there are histamine receptors on the GI tract and other places. So they
Is that
can
what
be.
Dramamine does?
Dramamine is an antihistamine.
What a phenomenal name, by the
Yeah,
way.
Dramamine. Yep.
Gets rid of your drama.
Oh, I hadn't thought of it that way.
Yeah.
I don't know how they decide. The generic is dimenhydrinate. Dimenhydrinate. Yeah.
Why would you?
Dramamine. Maybe it was. Maybe somebody
Now
had.
I-
Maybe somebody. You know, it was a harassed parent who was working for this drug company, and they went on their family vacations.
Stop giving them drama.
And their kids were giving them drama. Dad, I feel sick. Stop the car. And so they came out with this drug, and they're like, you know what? I'm going to call this Dramamine.
I mean,
Because
it gets
it'll
rid of the drama.
get rid of my kid's drama.
Dr. Jenstead also did a very nice job of categorizing all of the drugs in her her 3rd week of pre-surge. When we talked about pre-medication, she did a very nice job and had us create like a little, what are those called? It's like a Punnett square, but for organization.
A matrix?
Yeah, a matrix. I was thinking a spreadsheet. There we
Spreadsheet?
go. That's
Okay.
the word
All
I
right.
wanted.
Nerd.
I could have called it Excel.
I know. How good are you at Excel?
I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah, I knew it.
And
I'm barely functional on Excel.
Is it bad that I know how to use Excel because I wanted to do a lot of optimization for my video games? So I made like calculations.
We can go back
spreadsheets.
to not yucking someone's yum. You know, if video games are your thing, especially
more power to you.
Yeah, and if it relaxes you, if it gets your mind off of other things for a while, you can't.
Like drugs.
Well, yeah, right. When you're trying to study all these drugs, take some time to
breathe.
To breathe and play your video game or listen to the new Chapel Roan album.
It's really good.
Is it? I don't know. I just know that Alicia the other day, and I'm really jealous of her for this. She's really talented. She took a Chapel Roan song and she changed the lyrics and it scanned. The meter was perfect.
Oh, lovely.
And the rhymes were great. She rhymed gingivitis with oral detritus. It was perfect. But
That's amazing.
she came up with a parody of this Chapel Roan song that was all about doing blood work, CBCs and chem panels for her VLP class. And I'm just so jealous because I would love to be able to do that. And I feel like with my love for words, I would be better at writing
poetry,
light verse.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, Gilbert and Sullivan, and Gilbert was a hero of mine. All the light verse they wrote and the crazy rhymes like rhyming tellum to with cerebellum to.
Wow.
Yeah. You'd be surprised, Gilbert and Sullivan. A lot of my vocabulary, I think, came from listening to that as a teenager.
Interesting.
Yeah. Would you believe the cervical vertebrae comes up in the Mikado?
I would not, but
Yes.
now I want to know where.
Yeah. Well, the whole plot of the Mikado hinges upon the Mikado has these really strict laws where even flirting is punishable by death, by decapitation.
Wow.
Yeah. It's funny. The whole play, the air of death hangs over it, but the play is completely frothy and nonsensical.
It just sounds like the French Revolution.
I mean, I guess, yeah, with humor and song. But there's a scene where the heroes, for various plot complications, have to lie about an execution having taken place to please the Mikado, who's the Emperor of Japan. And so they make up this complicated story, and of course each verse it gets more and more complicated and unbelievable.
Mm-hmm.
But there's one verse where the female singer, the woman who sings her part, talks about how just seeing her and her beauty calmed the person who was being executed.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a line in there about as the saber true cut cleanly through his cervical vertebrae. And actually it's pronounced brie because it has to rhyme with sight of me.
Weird.
Yeah. So who would have thought in light comic opera the cervical vertebrae would come up?
Interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the whole point of this.
That is the whole point of this.
Is we will go from we started with what, drugs and introduction to what the heck this is about, and ended up with Mikado and Ferngully.
Yeah.
And
parrots that are training themselves.
Apollo's awesome.
I'll have to look Apollo up.
He's the best part is they started out wanting to just teach him things. It's a couple that live in Florida.
Uh-huh.
They just wanted to teach him stuff and to see how far they could take it. The University of Florida went, what are you doing? And they went, we're teaching our bird words. And they were like, can we fund your bird?
Oh, wow.
And do a study on
Okay.
your bird? So Apollo goes to college like every 3 months.
Apollo goes to college.
Yeah.
I sense a.
I sense a PBS book.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
Arthur.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But yeah, he goes to college like every year or every 3 months. I forget what the exact time interval is. But he gets a checkup, and they test him, and they see how he's progressed, and they're keeping track of him over a long period of time to see if they can track how Greys learn.
Interesting. And just to circle back, the reason we were talking about Apollo was you asked me about neurodivergence in animals.
Yeah.
And I was saying I don't know that we know enough yet. But of course there are jokes out there. I don't know if you call them jokes, but there's a book called All Cats Are Autistic.
I've seen this book.
I have it, of course. And there's one that's All Dogs Are ADHD.
I believe that. I've
and-
never met a golden retriever that could not just go, oh my gosh,
Yeah.
you're my friend.
So, but they're meant to be. I think they're meant to be humorous, but they're also, I think, to help, especially young people with these diagnoses, sort of
Feel less alone.
Yeah, because their dog has ADHD too, and I'm a cat guy, so I like the fact that all cats are autistic.
It makes sense.
Yeah. And then since you mentioned, and because this is the whole Jingle Jangle thing of this podcast, since you mentioned the University of Florida and we were talking about veterinary stuff, did you know that outside the veterinary school they have sculptures? They're like, I think they're like
in UW? Or
no,
in Florida?
in Florida, the University of Florida at Gainesville, at the vet school there. They have big sculptures outside the vet school. They're, I think, stainless steel, but they are representations of different animal penises. So they've got like a bull and a boar and a cat.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that just makes me think of the Reykjavik Phallological Museum.
Oh,
Do
okay.
you know about this?
I have heard of it. Yep.
My mother works for Epic, and so she gets to go places on the planet I wish I could go.
Okay, yeah.
She's going to Singapore. She's been to Australia. She's gone to Germany. She's gone to Reykjavik. She's gone to New
Are
Zealand.
they hiring?
Epic?
Yeah, do they need a veterinarian?
No. Epic works. Epic is my chart.
I know who they are.
Well,
Yeah.
some people don't.
Oh, well, I do. They also have, isn't it isn't it basically like Disneyland? You can go and
It's
tour
freaking
there.
Disneyland.
Yeah, they've got
If
all
you-
these bizarre, like,
There's a Star Trek wing of Epic.
shut up.
Yes.
Like original trilogy stuff, or
Yes,
like,
it's all themed over original trilogy, and there's a small section on TNG. There's a Star Wars section.
Yeah,
There's
what? How did I not know this?
You should
That's
go-
even better. The Star Wars.
go visit Epic. It's really
Okay,
cool.
I'm gonna have to.
And while you're
do you have to
there-
make an appointment, or they just have like
I think there's
visiting
tours.
hours?
I think there's like you
Okay.
can visit their website for tours of the place. But the cool part about having someone who works at Epic, they employ their own culinary staff.
Mm,
It's like really good. So
Mm.
while you're there,
yeah.
you should go to the cafe. You should go at lunch
Okay.
and go to the cafeteria because they make everything from scratch in house. Full stop. Soup, bread, everything. The only thing they don't make there is like animal proteins. That's it.
Okay. Wow.
And
I don't.
it's really good. And you don't.
I
So it's
mean-
fine.
I eat dairy, so I guess that's animal protein. But
Eggs?
I mean, I'm not a big fan of just sitting down to like a plate of
Chickens?
eggs. But I mean, if they're in a baked good or something.
Mayonnaise?
So, I'm not a big fan of mayonnaise.
I didn't know eggs were in mayonnaise for a
Yeah,
long time.
they're the emulsifier.
Yeah.
That's the way that you bring the oil and the water together.
Are there emulsifiers in some of our drugs that we should know?
Oh, I mean, yeah. There are vaccines, when human vaccines, right? There are some vaccines that use egg, like the flu vaccine uses egg.
What?
Yeah, and that's why some people can't take the flu vaccine, is they
Interesting.
have a sensitivity to egg protein. But like propofol, which is an anesthetic agent,
The anesthetic
milk of anesthesia,
Yeah.
yeah, that the stuff that looks like milk, yeah, it's an emulsion. I don't think it uses egg. Now I'm gonna
Google
be
time.
What?
Google time.
Oh, I thought you said it was time to.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
I know that there's a version that has a much shorter shelf life, and that was an emulsion with something that was, easily contaminated if it's sat for too long. And then there's one that has propylene glycol in it that has a longer shelf life.
Well, if we trust Google AI,
Well, do we trust any
Google?
AI?
No.
AI is rubbish.
Yes.
Yes.
I just think of the "I have no mouth and I must scream" speech.
Yes.
Have you seen that?
Sounds familiar, but
It was a BBC radio play. It's horrifying.
Okay.
And it's about AI.
I just
Go ahead.
I know that I looked up the word. There's a cardiac drug called digoxin. It's Digoxin, and you would think by the rules of English that would be digoxin, right? 'Cause it's
No.
G-O. It's not. It's digoxin. So I just out of curiosity, I Googled it, and the AI tried to tell me that no, that follows the rule of English. When I follows G, then the G is a soft G, as in the word digoxin. But
It's not.
I mean, yes, there's the in at the end, but the rule is if the I is right after the G, and it's
Yeah.
not. So AI can lie to you right to your face. AI is rubbish.
AI is a 4-year-old that has been taught that you can put the circle block in the square hole
Yes.
all the time, and it'll just work.
Yes. So, children,
Don't put the circle block in the square hole.
don't use AI to do your
Yeah.
pharmacology homework, your ACM homework.
It's so incredibly blatant when it's wrong.
Yeah. And then if you get caught, don't use AI to write your apology, because the instructors can tell, especially that M dash. ChatGPT loves the M dash.
Yes, it does.
Which, as a neurodivergent person, my writing has always my speaking. I write like I speak,
Oh, it's the same. Entirely the same.
and there's always parentheticals in there and dashes here and dashes there. So
Parentheticals.
I have always used the M dash. Now I get accused of using AI because ChatGPT loves the M dash.
We sound like AI.
Yeah.
I don't know that that's a good thing.
No, I don't think it is.
So.
But
Go ahead,
AI is
please.
frequently wrong.
Always.
I am never wrong,
I don't know about that.
right?
You've literally said authentic but imperfect.
That's true. I also have that joke that I always tell that, I never make a mistake. I thought I did once,
Oh, we're back.
but
on
I
this
was wrong.
again.
Yeah. Those of you who don't have me as an instructor currently, which I think is very few of you.
Yeah,
I think
very
I
few.
have both. Yeah, but I know you miss my dad jokes. I know you do.
Do we? Do we really?
Well, you don't because you still get to hear them.
All right.
You see more of me
Good Lord.
than a lot of students, for better or for worse. So we're still on propofol.
Yeah, propofol. Pfizer says their propofol has soy protein in it.
Okay, so that's probably your emulsifier then.
But I know the AI, if we believe them, said some use egg.
Okay, I mean, I guess I do have the pharmacology book right in front of
Perhaps
me.
we can use a source we trust.
Or the Plum's Veterinary Drug Handbook, although it is the 7th edition, so that's already like.
I have the 10th edition.
I know. I was gonna say it's 2 or 3 editions behind.
I think the program uses the 9th edition, I believe. Yes.
Yeah.
They do.
Yeah. But I've discussed that.
Why are you flipping through? You have a glossary and an index.
I have worked with Zoomers now for so long, working at the college, that I don't know how to use an index anymore.
What?
No, I'm kidding.
Oh,
I do.
okay.
But I knew propofol was in the chapter on nervous system drugs.
Oh, yeah,
and
probably.
it's going to be right here somewhere. But it probably would have been faster if
Dude,
I
love indexes.
looked up propofol. Yeah, for those of you youngins, an index is
A list of words.
It's analog Google.
Yeah, it's analog Google for a book.
Yeah.
It puts the word that you want and then the page numbers that word appears on.
Shocking.
And it's so incredibly useful, especially when I was doing veterinary medical terminology. It was so incredibly useful because the index is alphabetical. So as long as you've seen it, you can know where to find it.
Propofol. Let's see. Thank you. Marketed as a white emulsion made of egg lecithin,
There you go.
soybean oil, and glycerol, and some formulations are without preservatives. Therefore, aseptic handling is important because if the emulsion is contaminated, bacteria can grow.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
I don't know that I'd want moldy propofol.
No, going into your veins. But then there's Propofol 28, registered trademark,
Oh dear.
that contains the preservative benzyl alcohol. But benzyl alcohol.
Oh, so
I
like.
keep knocking the
No, you're
microphone.
good. I'm just making sure you can be heard.
Oh, okay.
Interesting.
It might be a blessing to listeners if I'm not heard quite as much.
Well, no, that's why you're here.
Oh.
With Dr. Sai leading us out with why he thinks he's there and actually why he's there. Thank you again for listening to the first episode of Jingle Jangle. I hope to have a better outro recorded with Sai next time. Keep your eyes out for the next episode, and thank you again for listening.